Saturday. Reporting live from Gershwin Hotel. Check, check. Can you hear me? Yes, you can. So here I am in Madison Square Park. Life at the Gershwin is so interesting. Life in New York City is just amazing. Everybody's so friendly here. It's something I've really noticed. My little light is blinking. I wonder if that means we're out of tape already. And what do you think of this Gershwin Hotel, like trying to be a bit like the Chelsea was in the 70s?
I kind of like it because I haven't actually been here before, and I like the concept of it. I like the fact that somewhere is actually focusing on using a running hotel as a canvas for people to showcase their creativity. That's fun. That's good. And also it means that the hotel moves all the time because there's obviously different things coming in and out, which is kind of nice. So yeah, it's cool. I have like 2 Contax cameras, and I have a big Canon camera, which I have 2 film cameras and 2 digital cameras. I just carry this around with me everywhere because it's my reference. If I see something, I can take a reference of it and then I can go back and shoot it properly.
What is that?
It's a little Sony Cybershot.
Cool.
No, you know what I love about New York? I love the fact that there's still that whole boutique culture. Even though I know it's hard for people to make money here, but there's still that culture of you can walk down any street in any area and you're going to find a mad little shop that sells quirky little things.
So where do you recommend I go shopping?
East Village obviously is really good, and down sort of like Elizabeth Street around there, some quite nice little higher end funky shops. I mean, a bit more expensive, but East Village has some great shops. Obviously out in like Williamsburg and places like that, some cool. And that's another thing, I love the fact that you can just spontaneously go out here and you can go for a meal, you can have a night out without having to plan it. You can just go out and the night will just happen. In London, I was basically teamed up with another creative person, and we were shooting our own stories, just doing it all ourselves, and everything we did, we got placed, because basically we didn't do it with the intention of getting it placed in anything. We just did it because we wanted to do it, so everything was like pure, uncompromised ideas. It's like whatever, we just did what we wanted to do, and we got it published. Just to be able to go out there and go, I actually want to do that, and nobody to say, well, I think you have to kind of. That is so liberating, and it really kind of feeds you some creative energy. Do you know what I mean?
I just did a show at the Warhol Museum. Well, it started out the concept of eyeball portraits. I took pictures and then just put them in. Well, yeah, and then I just put them in Photoshop and erased everything but the eyes, basically. So I have like a picture of my daughter and me and her dog, and everything's erased with the eyes. But you can see there's this relationship still very much there.
Oh wow!
You know, and then it sort of grew into other things. Then I started boiling water, and all the little bubbles in the water looked like eyes. I took a picture of it and it had 1,000 eyes, and I took that and I was able to play with that, you know,
cool.
And make things out of the boiling water. So then it just kept progressing further and further away from eyeballs, because everything sort of looked like eyeballs. But
signature eyeball.
but when a magician is trying to hypnotize you, rarely will he say, look deeply into my nose, you know, because they realize that the eyeball, that's a much more
mesmerizing.
Yes, you're going to be able to hypnotize not with the inside of your nostril, but with your eyeball. So, and there's reasons why magicians, after eons of trial and error, came up with the idea that the eyeball is actually more important than the nostril. So,
you know, a lot of the time I find that if I'm like shooting something specific, the idea is specific. Once I've actually get to the editing point, and I've been out and I've shot shitloads of stuff, and then I kind of rely on my instantaneous, response to whatever, and I'll go through the shots, and usually the ones that are working are obvious to me pretty much straight away, and I can scan the picture and I can get what's going. And I tend to do that, and I got to the point where I was just like, I'd edit the shots together and it would look good, but there was something missing, and I never couldn't quite figure out whether it was something that was lacking in my kind of, in my eye or whatever. But what I do now is I do that, because you usually have to present something to somebody, but then I go back to it afterwards, and then I re-edit it, but I re-edit it with a totally different perspective. And I just did that. I was actually doing that last night with a shoot that I did a while back, and I loved what I was getting out.
Pulling it out of
I loved it.
I now found that through this whole show process, putting my camera on a tripod and really freed me up, because then my exposures could be very, very long, and then I could take a picture of an object and really get a lot of good detail, and that really made a big difference. Just learning how to do something as simple as that.
So Nikki, tell me what's happening here tonight. Why are we here?
We are here because on Thursdays we like to do classical and modern classical music, and it all sort of started from the fact that we got this really great baby grand piano, a Baldwin, 1968 Baldwin. My good friend Stephen Lynch, who's an incredible pianist who performs here, off of Craigslist, and it belonged to this concert pianist who kept it in his house for 20 years and has all the original parts, and so that was sort of once we got that, then we realized we could expand our musical capabilities. And at the same time, I met some people from Juilliard and Manhattan School of Music, and we have all these very, very talented people, and they end up doing a lot of classical and also modern classical kind of stuff, which is all atonal and John Cage. I think tonight they're going to do a piece, a John Cage piece, where he plays the outside of the piano. So it's always exciting and it's always wacky. Wacky. So get ready to get whacked. It's sort of classical avant-garde. It's sort of like the avant-garde of 20 years ago, but is embraced by the younger generation of people who are studying music and realize, oh, let's try something weird. Let's try something.
At the Andy Warhol Museum, night celebrates Nicky Carson. That's what he was talking about. It's cool.
Bible portraits. How are you?
Anton.
Anton, I've met you before in London.
Oh yes, Anton, we met. We know each other because of you.
Because of
we
you.
met and we were screening.
Remember the Agnes B thing?
Agnes B.
Yes, yeah, tell me your name again.
Jimmy.
Jimmy, yeah.
Yeah.
Anton, yeah. How are you doing?
Come sit
It's
down.
the
Sit down
mozzarella.
there.
Don't tell the mozzarella.
Oh yeah, don't sit on the mozzarella. We were
Do you have
gonna,
a knife with you?
by any
I
chance.
don't have.
Look at this mozzarella. It's from Little Italy. It's so fresh.
Great, Gives you a Korean copy of Night.
Jimmy and his
Isn't that good?
mozzarella, fresh from Little Italy. Yeah. And Anton, I read the quote that Andy Warhol said about you that's on the wall. It's so cool. It's like, Andy Warhol was jealous of you because you invented a machine that meant you didn't have to be there at home painting.
Yeah, he says his dream. Girls coming to New York from all over, Europe, from Africa, from, Madagascar, they don't know how to walk on New York streets, so they keep falling down, getting hurt, bleeding, bruises all over, keep hurting other people. So then they take a lesson from, they go to New York School of Walking, and they get,
Do they have to learn to negotiate potholes in the street?
Yeah,
and stuff?
potholes and other people and
Cobbles.
And how to achieve the Marilyn Monroe effect when you stand on top of those grills and your skirt goes up?
Subway girls.
You have to wait for subway to go by and they will lift you up.
Like I was walking across the Brooklyn Bridge and there was this guy on like a speed racing bike or something. Just and all these tourists just wanted to see the skyline, having such a peaceful. He was like, out of the way, just like right through there. And, I mean, I never did anything like that, but I remember going fast and
It's great
getting
when you get the
aggravated.
opportunity to. I mean, I'm kind of always worried that I'm just going to hit a great big hole in the road,
Yeah.
or somebody's going to open their door, or you just have to think about all that shit because it's so dangerous biking in Manhattan, especially. It's really bad.
I welcome you to the Gershwin Hotel, and I hope you'll be very happy and very comfortable here, and I welcome you to come back to New York as soon as you can.